Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're all having a good weekend. So we've got 6 people here already. Smash that like button if you haven't already. So let me know how everyone's doing. So, like I said, I will be answering to the best of my ability questions related to the topics in the description. So yeah, so it's winter, and a lot of people's moods are a bit low because of, well, it has to do with serotonin, which we get from exposure to sunlight. So there are other ways of getting it, but the main source is from sunlight. So if you can't get it from sunlight, then you have to get it from other sources. So yeah. So that's something I probably need to look into more, really, but no, tryptophan is a precursor to serotonin. But anyway, so who's here? So bring your questions. I'll stay on for about an hour and a half, something like that. But yeah, just bring your health, well-being, and that kind of stuff, related questions. Why is there no one? Hang on. It says there's 5 people watching, but nobody's chatting. Anyway, I guess they're just busy. But yeah, it would help if people could actually bring the. But yeah, if it would help if people could bring the questions. But yeah, so I haven't been posting like every day this week, but I mean, I am trying to post. I just need to come up with some ideas, and I have come up with a few ideas, but I should have just left it a little bit. But I thought I'd just put some content out. How's it going, Okai 2? It says what precursor? Well, you can look that up, but it just means like it's something that that turns into something else in the body. So like, for instance, beta carotene is a precursor to vitamin A. It isn't vitamin A, but it turns into it in the body. That's what I mean. So like tryptophan, which is an amino acid, turns into, or can turn into, serotonin. So yeah, so serotonin is one of those mood regulating hormones. So when you don't have a lot of that, you can have depression and anxiety and things like that. So yeah, so make sure that you're getting enough serotonin. So which foods would be high in tryptophan? I believe like certain types of nuts have quite a lot in, but yeah, like I I think it's seafood, but obviously if you're not a vegan, that's okay. But like, yeah, I think some types of meats will have it as well. How's it going, Annie? Good to see you. Prozac. So Prozac is is that an antidepressant? So now antidepressants are said to be, for some people, have quite a bit of side effects. So if there's like a natural way to get rid of it without the need to take form of medication, then I think that people should know about that. SSRI antidepressant, yeah, okay, cool. So how's it going, E-word? Okay, so that's right. So yeah, so share the stream. So yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not. I can't really give medical advice on here, but yeah, just look into foods that are high in tryptophan. Find the ones that you enjoy. I can't really give you specifics right now, but I could look it up right now and just. But yeah, tryptophan, serotonin. Let's just. So it says here for central serotonin production to occur. This is on PubMed. So this is like an official medical documentation. Let me find what. So it talks about serotonin synthesis occurs in the periphery within the gut neurons and enterochromaffin cells, and centrally within the neurons of the RAF in the brain stem. Blah 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 blah. It goes on and on, but yeah, from what I've heard, that having a healthy diet with fiber actually helps because of it has to do. I think it's something to do with like these short chain fatty acids. From what I've heard, that it actually can boost mood. But don't quote me on that. I mean, I'm in the process of learning myself. So, and like I said, I can't give out medical advice on here or anything. So I can just give my opinion. But yeah, so it talks about serotonin receptors. And tryptophan depletion. But yeah, I'll put the link in the chat so you can go and look at it for yourself. Because this is like official documentation. So yeah, so yeah, it helps to increase serotonin in winter because it's obviously winter right now. So like a lot of people struggle in winter because of the season. It's called seasonal affective disorder or something, or SAD. So it talks about increasing serotonin activity. But to talk about foods that are high in tryptophan that can help. So it says things like eggs, tofu, fatty fish, like salmon and tuna, seeds and nuts are all high in tryptophan. Reduce stress and promote relaxation. So I'll just put the link to this in the chat as well, so you can actually look at the whole article. So yeah, so probably we want to increase tryptophan. So try and find out what foods are the highest in that particular amino acid, because obviously foods have higher amounts of different amino acids. Now, like protein is actually not very healthy to eat in high amounts, so you've got to try and balance things out, because protein's been shown to, but I think certain amino acids might be more, they might promote aging more than others. So I'm not entirely sure on that, but yeah, like I actually don't eat a massive amount of protein, but I know like amino acids are very important for like hormone production, and you need like a lot of like amino acids for hormone production. So things like serotonin, melatonin. So serotonin actually converts to melatonin, from what I've heard. So like that, then you can't get enough melatonin. So like this is probably one of the reasons why in winter people don't get as much melatonin, because there's not as much sun. But eating more tryptophan may help to increase that. Any more questions, anybody? One of the problems with food is that it gives you dopamine hits, which is why food can be so addictive. Yeah, one thing you can do is just like find healthy foods and put dressings on it that are healthy, but actually tasty. That way you can please your taste buds. There is some research actually that cutting sugar out for a month may actually cause like sweet foods to actually become sweeter. So naturally sweet foods, like say like a strawberry, would actually become sweeter after cutting out sugar for a month. Well, they found in the study that it didn't change the sweetness preferences, but how they actually experienced that food. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? So just a month of cutting out sugar and replacing it with low sugar foods and fatty foods and stuff like that. So they have to cut out like added sugar, like refined sugar, and eat foods that are not as sweet. But after that month, the taste buds are sort of adapted. So that may be of help to some people. So I don't know if any of you have experienced that. If you say you cut out like, I don't know, like sugary drinks or whatever, or sugary foods for a month and then gone back to it, that they're almost too sweet. But yeah, food is designed to be addictive so that you keep on buying more and more and more of it. They want people to be addicted to food. Because, more profits can be made that way off this, like, really sort of hyper palatable food. Is when you keep snacking on it. Now, if it wasn't hyper palatable, then like it just wouldn't, people wouldn't be buying it as much, so they wouldn't be able to make as much money from it. So they'll put like MSG, they'll put artificial, and sometimes it'll say natural flavorings, but that's still a way to like kind of improve the flavor of it so that it becomes addictive. So yeah, what's this? What do you think? Well, that's kind of off topic, really, but I mean, I don't really know what's going on, but I don't know. I don't know anything about that, really. That's like way, way beyond where I live. So, like, but I mean, they do seem to be happening more often, because it was only like, what, a couple of years ago that somewhere in the Philippines had one. So but anyway, there's not a lot of people chatting. On topic, how do I get a date if I'm fat and ugly? Well, I mean, don't be fat then. Yeah, just kidding. Well, yeah, I mean, that's something I want to do on this channel as well, like advice on that. Well, not necessarily advice, but just kind of suggestions on, because there's so many like people out there that are just really struggling. So I'm not gonna like sugarcoat things, because there are going to be some cases that like it's going to be very difficult, and like there's so many people out there that just want you to think that it's like so easy, you can just like do this and they'll get them all, and it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of scammers out there. So I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, you've got to try and practice self-love. I know it sounds kind of like airy fairy and all that, but I mean, you got to really kind of love and respect yourself, and this is what the channel's about. It's really about focusing on the self and self growth, self achievement, and health, and just becoming the best version of you that you can possibly be. But yeah, any more questions anyone has in the chat, feel free to put them. I've already got a thumb down, but I think there's no one can see that anymore because YouTube has taken that away. What's your opinion on mindfulness? Well, I did make a video on meditation, and I think it's something that some people should probably incorporate into their daily routine, like for the benefits that I've explained before. So yeah, like it, you just start off low, you don't do much at the beginning, and then just keep building it up over time, and just learning to be able to focus, and because that's one of the main hurdles a lot of people have, that why they're not successful, and because they just struggle with focusing on things. And that's something that I do, and that's something I really need to focus on, is meditation. Like I've said, it isn't just about like sitting in a lotus position listening to new age music. That's the kind of stereotypical explanation as to what it is. But in reality, it could just be like that you're so kind of focused in on whatever kind of task you're doing, whether that's a hobby that you have, maybe you play guitar, or if you play a musical instrument, or you're just so busy on a project or whatever it may be. To me, that's meditation in a way, because your mind is so focused on that one task. You don't have all these other kind of thoughts coming into your head and getting stressed out and all this. You just kind of, it's a way of relaxing in a way. When you focus, your mind is just more relaxed. You're more in that kind of like alpha state. Yeah, alpha, isn't it? Yeah, because like most of the time we're in like beta mode, which is more of the kind of alert kind of, you've got all these thoughts running around in your head. But when you're in that sort of alpha state, that's when you can be more creative, more able to kind of focus on a task. Mindfulness as proposed by John Kabat-Zinn is a bit more that meditation. There are attitude changes involved, less judgmental, more open-minded. Yeah, it said that in because there was the article that I was reading that has those kind of benefits, that you start becoming more compassionate towards people. Probably because your mind's a lot calmer, so you're able to kind of not be so kind of caught up in your own kind of like just kind of mental chatter, basically, like that you can actually sort of help other people. And but some people say with like ADHD they might struggle because they struggle to keep attention on one thing, so not sure what would be the best for them. But I mean, that's something I want to maybe look into, because I want to be able to help people, whatever kind of situation that they're in. So, but yeah, like I find that I can be kind of self-absorbed at times, but like not in a kind of um, malevolent kind of way, but just because of the way I am, I focus on the what I've got to do, but then very little time and thought is left for anyone else, basically. Like, and I'd like to not be so much like that and become more kind of compassionate towards others. And I mean, I probably have become more like that over time. That like I tend to think more before I say things now, and like that. That whatever I say has consequences. And anyway, so anyone else got any questions? There's 8 people watching, but just keep bringing your questions. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I need to still look into, and then there'll be more content coming out. And yeah, so I'm on my own journey. I'm on my own self development, you could say. I mean, I've been doing self development for quite a while now, because like some people may have seen before that I've been kind of slacking and not really taking too much care about myself. And more recently, I've kind of started to take more care of myself, like personal care and things like that. And like I started going to the gym and started doing things that have actually kind of been about me, really about my own self growth. Like, and I think a lot could have to do with like self esteem. And that if if you have low self esteem, then that can make you not really want to do anything with your life, and kind of become a little bit nihilistic and just not really care anymore. And it's sad to see so many people become like that. But I think there's a way out of that, because I've come through the other end, just like 10 times better than what I was before. So like, I've become a lot more like confident. I've become a lot more just happy about myself, that that I'm big, respecting myself more. And so yeah, like anyway, I digress, but it's all related. I suppose it's all related to the topics that we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, but that's enough at talking about myself. But anyone else got any questions that you'd like to ask? I'll only keep it going up to 1 hour if you don't get any more questions. But yeah, mindfulness is like some of that. I think more people really need to start practicing, because I think it's really important, because so many people, they get like kind of butthurt. Like in a video I made the other day, that like all these people are getting offended for no reason. Like, well, there is a reason, but it's like it's not really a justified reason a lot of the time. It's they're getting offended at what someone else has said about them, or maybe they've made a joke about them, and they've took it to heart. But so like meditation could help to make you become more able to kind of just not care too much about what other people say, because you just become more mindful of the situation, and instead of getting kind of like responding very sort of irrationally to it, because it isn't rational to become emotional at a harmless joke, or just a construct, even like a criticism, even a constructive criticism. When people get offended, it's like, well, that's your problem. You need to deal with that. So I think meditation could help with that, to become more mindful of the situation that you're in, be more present, be more, that your stress goes down, so if your stress is lower, then you're not in this kind of fight or flight mode. And this whole fight or flight mode's like people get into when somebody makes a kind of criticism about you or whatever, because you're thinking to yourself, they're attacking me. But if you learn to stay calm, then it's like it won't get to you, or it shouldn't get to you. But yeah, so many people are like closed-minded. So yeah, that it would be great if people could become more open-minded. So like if they would do meditation, then they can start, just sort of hearing different people's points of view. Like they might not necessarily agree, but just to be able to entertain someone else's idea. Because if you can't deal with the fact that someone else has a different opinion to you, then that's your problem. You need to work on that. Any more questions? Yeah. Shout out to the lurkers. I can't chat right now, but I hope you're all doing well. Hope you've all had a great weekend so far. How's it going, Chris Hayes? Good to see you. How you been? Bright, how's it going? Welcome. Any questions? Doing okay, sort of. Well, that's okay then. Could be worse. So you always got to remember, no matter how bad your situation is right now, it could always be worse. There's probably someone somewhere else doing worse than you, and they're probably dealing with that situation a lot of the time. So this is part of the whole mindfulness thing of, becoming mindful of the fact that you know that, like, yeah, your situation might not be very good compared to someone else's, but compared to someone else's, it could be as brilliant. Like, you could be living in Africa, you don't even have clean water, you don't have so many of the things that we have. So you got to stay mindful of that no matter how bad things get, things could always get worse. We've had wars, we've had famines, and things could get a whole lot worse. Like, people are so entitled these days. They think they're so entitled. I mean, but you got to try and learn to appreciate what you have, no matter how pathetic your life might be. You've just got to try and make the most of it. So whenever you're starting to feel a bit kind of depressed or whatever, just like remember, things could be worse. Now, like we've talked about before, that depression can be like to do with the like chemical imbalances, because you don't have enough serotonin and these kind of hormones that can make you happy, but like if that's the problem, then you need to sort it. Yeah, so like I might talk about deep breathing, like that's something really kind of important. But that's kind of related to the whole meditation thing. Like deep breathing is a really kind of um, a way to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. Done any good workouts or meals this week? Um, I do workouts about 4 days a week at the gym, and so like yeah, so like yeah, 4 days a week. I'll do like kind of whole body, really like. But yeah, meals. I mean, I just try and eat a lot of food, um, and I'm surprised that like I mean I don't really eat massive amounts of protein, and I honestly don't think we actually need that much. But it's just about getting the calories in and just getting the bare minimum for the protein consumption. Getting better with the pull-ups. Well, I had to do assisted. Like I said, I had to go at it again the other day. Well, I think it was yesterday. I went on it, but I still had to use the uh, I still had to do it assisted. But I did. I put the weight down or up. Yeah, down actually, because more weight. So it's because it seems a bit counterintuitive because it's like the more weight you actually put on it, the easier it gets with the assisted. So like, but yeah, so less weight makes it harder. So I tried putting it a little bit less weight, and I was able to still do a few of it. So yeah, so I'll probably just kind of keep kind of gradually making it harder, and then I'll be able to do it unassisted. But obviously, I am fighting an uphill battle here um, because I am tall. So obviously, like that's not an excuse to not be able to do it, but it's just gonna be a little bit more difficult because you're having to pull more of yourself up. So yeah, yeah, pull-ups are hard, yeah, but yeah, assisted. It's a good way to like ease yourself into it. I've tried doing it without. All I can do, the best thing I can do really is just to kind of hang there. Really, I can't seem to. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot harder than doing push-ups, I would say. But there's obviously different variations of push-ups. Some of them are very difficult, like decline push-ups, diamond push-ups. There's so many different ones. But yeah, I'm getting better with that kind of stuff. But I don't really do a lot of push-ups anymore because I use the gym equipment. I do chest presses and stuff like that. So, but I can still do push-ups when I want to do them. But one thing I've never been able to do is clapping push-ups. Like some people can do clapping push-ups, but it's like really hard to do because, I mean, it's just, yeah. But yeah, I'm getting stronger and like, yeah, I definitely feel like I am. Like some of the things, it's like the only thing that's kind of uncomfortable about it is when I'm trying to push that I'm actually getting like kind of well, I've got like these kind of what you call them, like calluses or whatever on your hands, where it's like this sort of tough skin, and you can kind of feel it kind of digging in. But yeah, like, but yeah, the weights have like gone up since I first started. So like, how's it going, Jed? Good to see you. But yeah, people shouldn't be comparing themselves to other people. For instance, somebody could be like really short, and if they try and do a deadlift, I mean, it'd be easier for them because their legs are so short that they can just like do it with, like a, because it doesn't they don't have to pull it as far up. So like it's, yeah. So in a way, it's kind of cheating, but anyway. But yeah, like for someone like me, it would be like really difficult because I've got really long legs to try and do it. But then again, long legs are stronger, so I don't know like if it kind of balances itself out. But you see like short guys with lots of muscle, and it's like some people will be like think, oh, like when you see these videos of them and they look really buff and all that, but then when you actually see them, they're quite short. And I mean, a taller guy would probably have like just as much muscle. It's just that like it just doesn't look like it because they're taller, so like the muscles are longer, they're more stretched. So yeah, you can't compare yourself to other people. How many sit-ups per day you doing? I don't do sit-ups, but sometimes I do like crunches. But yeah, like I mean, I don't do that stuff every single day, but most days I'll do that kind of. I mean, I do stuff in the gym like that, but I do some stuff at home as well. Sometimes I'll do some leg exercises, like some like lower body exercises, some like lunges and stuff like that. Because that's good for like lower body strength. Um, like I'll do things like squat walking, where you're like walking around while squatting. I did deadlifts yesterday. So how much like weight did you? How much weight did it have? Like, I mean, just trying to think like how much weight I put on the deadlift. I did some like um, I think I put like 30 kilos on it or something. So I don't know how much that is in total. It's probably a little bit more because of the bar itself has some little bit of weight. But how's the living situation going near getting your own place yet? I don't know yet because I still need to hear from somebody about that. Yeah, but it shouldn't be too long. But I mean, well, technically, it is my own place. Well, it's not actually, because I've got someone else living in the next room. So, because I was on my own for a while, and then someone else moved in. But I suppose it's like shared accommodation, so it's not. But yeah, I do want to get my own place. How's it going, Almog? Good to see you. Any questions anybody has? Light deads yesterday, 100 kg, because I did supersets with bent over rows on 50 kg. Right. Yeah, supersets that's when you don't have any rest between each set, between sets, so you just kind of power through it all. But yeah, I mean, I only did it like at low weights because it's just to try and like, I need to be confident that I can actually do it without like injuring myself. Like I tried doing the squat, but I hardly put any weight on it because, I mean, maybe if I had someone there to hold it for me, or just in case like it goes wrong, then they can just like lift it back onto the rack. Yeah, I get on with them. Yeah. How's it going, One Love? Good to see you. Yeah. But yeah, what I want to have ideally is like functional strength, so not like being this kind of like huge monster, because it's just not even functional at that point. Yeah, you'll be able to lift heavy, but it's not going to really have much kind of function in real life. And you're better off like being kind of somewhere in the middle, like in my opinion, like not too skinny, like where you're just kind of weak, but not too big that it's like restricting your movement and because you're not even gonna have like kind of like body weight strength in a way, like if you're really huge. Because in like calisthenics, like a lot of these like really big guys, they won't be able to do a lot of the calisthenics type of stuff because the body weight is just too much to handle it. Like they struggle with things like push-ups even, and pull-ups and other kind of body weight exercises. How's it going, Eternal Padawan? Good to see you. So everyone's all piling in now, I see. Yeah. What's it? Anyway. Anyway. So yeah. Any more questions? Smash the like button if you haven't already. But yeah, like thing is, it's like TV sucks, and then it's like, and then people go onto the internet on things like TikTok, and it's just so much worse. Too busy gaming, so missed the notification. No worries. We've all got other stuff to be dealing with. Yeah. Anyway, does anybody do the nanobot bath detox? The hell? Is that a real thing? One cup of baking soda, pink Himalayan salt, Epsom salt, and 20 mule team borax. All right. Yeah. Any more questions? You're having guests on this new channel. I'm thinking about like having like podcasts at some point. So if I can get in contact with people, like some different channels I could find, that maybe I can we can do like some kind of interview or something like that, where we can kind of like interview each other, and that's something that I'm open to doing at some point on the channel. But it's sort of finding people to get on, I think, is going to be the main issue. Tail the Fiend. What's that? Is that a band or something? Well, I can't have people on this right now because it's just a webcam stream, and I have no intentions of doing anyway. But yeah, I'm keeping it to like if I do ever have a podcast, then it's going to be people who talk about the stuff I'm talking about on the channel about health, well-being, and like you know, sort of self-care and things like that. Like, so yeah, so I'm on Twitter. I'll put my Twitter if anybody has that. I currently have 3 followers. It's better than I had last week, so I finally got to put in my thumbnail on the, because it was just like no thumbnail, so that didn't really look very good. But I still need to do a banner. But at least I've got the thumbnail stuff sorted out now. Right, so I'll give it a little bit longer. If no one else puts any comment or asks a question, then I'm going to be wrapping it up shortly. So yeah, I need to write notes down, as some I've not really been doing. So, because whenever I have an idea, I should just like put it down. And that's what everyone should do. If you have an idea, write it down. Like, you may have a good idea for something, and whether it's like an idea for like money making or whatever it might be, because if you don't write it down, you might forget about it. You're like, oh crap, what was that I was thinking about? And you can't even remember. So yeah, so having a diary or something, or just a notepad, just to kind of write down ideas. All right, well, take care, Jed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Are you going live at any time tonight or tomorrow? Anyway, don't know, mate. I'll see how I feel. All right, well, if I do, then I'll see you then. If not, then I'll see you later. Let's talk about other people now. Yeah. What is it like? Great minds talk about ideas. Average minds talk about events, and poor minds talk about the people. So yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So if you find that you're talking about other people a lot, then again, that's something you need to work on. And yeah, you need to start learning to stop gossiping all the time about others. And that's, I've done that before, talking about other people, but I rarely do that now. I think it's just kind of childish, really, isn't it? That we need to kind of move past gossip. But even talking about events isn't really I mean, it's like okay, but talking about ideas is really where it's at. It's like and we discuss ideas on here, but the thing is that beyond talking about ideas is how to turn those ideas into reality. So you could come up with an idea, but then actually turning that idea into a reality is the challenging part, really. give it a few more minutes and see if anyone else shows up. So yeah, I mean, I want people to actually like put the questions down in like comment sections. I haven't had any of that, unfortunately, but because then I'll be able to answer those questions as well as the ones that are in the live chat. Anyway, so I can't really think of much else. Yeah, so covered a few things. So the main thing is mindfulness, meditation, physical fitness, nutritional diet. Like these are all really important things. If you kind of practice all these things, then you can live a very kind of fulfilling life. So it's really in your hands. Have I started meditation? Well, I'd say probably not. I mean, but you know, we kind of meditate from time to time if we're doing something that we're really kind of passionate about. So I mean, people meditate without realizing it. They just kind of, it could just be like listening to music. Even if you're so focused in on that, then that is like a form of meditation, you could say. If you're so focused in on each little like nuance of that song, that's kind of meditation. I mean, so I do that. I do, you know, when I'm listening in, I listen very focused in on it. Like I'll be listening to each little kind of intricacy of it. So meditation, like I've said before, it isn't what people think it is. But I mean, there's different forms of it. I mean, I don't meditate. I use reflection with reasoning and understanding. Well, self-reflection is like I mean, that could be a form of meditation. If you're focused on doing that intently, then it's like a form of meditation. I tried a few guided morning meditations when I wake up in bed. Haven't got into it fully yet. Or maybe I should try and do that and see whether it actually works for me personally. But like I've said, if I'm listening to music intently, whatever, then that could be considered a form of meditation, but it might not be the same as, you know, like sort of focusing on breathing and things like that. Like focusing on breathing, it really helps with relaxation, because just like slowing down the breathing is like a great way to not in a meditative state, right? So just kind of not in a kind of hyper focused state, you mean? But yeah, I mean, it's like ancient philosophy has, well, basically what like modern science, you could say, has caught up with ancient philosophy. Like they're starting to like acknowledge the importance of a lot of these like rituals and things that that like mantras and whatever that they used to do in ancient Egypt and ancient whatever, like they've practiced these things throughout ancient times, so it's like, well, they must have had some health benefit. But science has started to kind of say, yeah, we've found like scientific proof that it actually works, and this is why, sort of thing. But there's other things that people have found that work as well, things like ice baths and things like that. But I don't think that's necessarily ancient. But I mean, I suppose it might be because, like, I suppose if you lived in those kind of environments, then you would have had to have like been put through that. But since we've got central heating, then we live in too much comfort nowadays. Like, we shouldn't be living so comfortably, so reliant on the central heating, really. But we have, so like it's good to have amounts of extreme heat and extreme cold. Now, we shouldn't be doing it prolonged, but it's good to have. It's like a good stress. You can do it whilst washing your pots. Well, you could be like washing your pots, but in like a kind of meditative state where it's kind of, you're just so kind of focused on that task. But I mean, doing kind of conscious breathing and stuff like that can really help and just build it up slowly over time. Because some people struggle at first because they can't go for more than a few minutes. You get these people where they'll meditate for an hour or whatever, and it's like, well, most people just can't do that at first. Like, you've just got to do it baby steps. It's like with a lot of things. Like, you can't just jump in at the deep end. You have to do it baby steps. Seeing the good in everything, right? Yeah. Anything else? So there's some people that like struggle to breathe in through their nose, like especially like at night time when they're sleeping and their mouth breathing. So one thing people can do is like tape their mouth shut. So it kind of forces you to breathe through your nose, but some say that can be not a good idea for some people with like asthma and that, but there are ways of just trying to build it up slowly, and then you can start doing those kind of things possibly. But I've been looking into like how asthma symptoms may be able to go into remission by practicing breath retention and just learning to not need to like breathe so much, so that you just calm down more. You stimulate the vagus nerve, which is the main part of the parasympathetic nervous system. Well, you've got the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight or fright. Then you've got the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest. So when that's switched on, your body can then start to digest better and it can repair itself better. So meditation can be good for that kind of thing, because you just like, so like in breath work, it's good for like calming down so that your body can like repair itself. And there is some research that I found that you may actually not need to sleep as much if you do like regular meditation, because it kind of acts like sleeping in a way. You may not get the full effect, but anyway, I don't think I've got much else to add, but I've got a lot of things to like research really. But yeah, tryptophan. So like anyone that's like, struggles during winter, like with mood, you may need to up, how much tryptophan that you're consuming. And there are certain foods that are high in it, so you want to find out the highest sources of it. Yeah. So it talks about, there's a thing that talks about like why you need tryptophan. So mood, depression, learning, memory skills, visual cognition, aggression control. So yes, it's because of serotonin. So let's see if it talks about that. Yeah, so it says tryptophan plays a role in the production of serotonin, a mood stabilizer, melatonin, which helps regulate sleep patterns, niacin or vitamin B3, and nicotinamide, also known as vitamin B3. So yeah, so it's like very important, really, for like health, like mental health, really. I might make a video, tryptophan versus antidepressants or something like that. So it's called L-tryptophan. It's an essential amino acid. It can't be produced. Well, I mean, can't be synthesized by humans. It's found in both plant and animal-based proteins. Most people consume more than double the amount that is actually needed, typically getting 900 to 1,000 milligrams per day, while the US recommended daily allowance is 250 to 425 milligrams per day. So I want to find out like how you produce more serotonin in winter time when there's not as much sun, because I like to find solutions to problems. It says here, winter depression, also known as seasonal affective disorder, affects around 2 million people in the UK. The lack of sunlight in winter causes a decrease in serotonin levels, the hormone that makes us feel happy. People with SAD can combat their depressive symptoms by following techniques that boost serotonin. Spending time outdoors. It says during winter, most of us work in the dark and live in the dark, and making time to be outdoors is. So it says about like indoor artificial light. Even on an overcast day, we can still benefit from the natural light that does get through. Sunlight on our skin produces vitamin D, which alongside other health benefits increases serotonin activity. It also is important to take vitamin D supplements during winter, but depends if your diet contains if it contains enough vitamin D. But likely it probably doesn't. So yeah, D3 supplement I think is the best. It's better than D2 from what I've heard. That so being physically active stimulates the release of serotonin, apparently. Being socially active, apparently. Well, serotonin is like the reward mechanism. So like when you do things that you know, like when you eat a meal, like you get like a kind of, I mean, it could be dopamine. I mean, I'm a bit confused with the whole, but I know serotonin is one of the things that makes you feel happy, or it can, help with the mood. So it talks about like full spectrum light therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, antidepressant medications. But the thing is that antidepressants do have potential side effects, so you've got that to consider. So I'm going to be finishing in a minute, but it's been good chatting with you all. So thank you to everyone who's brought up questions. So make sure that you have some plan for next week. Put them in the comments of my videos. Yeah, so six thumbs up. Let's try and get it up to 10. I don't even know what you're on about, Bright, but whatever. So what is this masked singer? I just see it on Twitter now. Anyway, well, it's been a pleasure chatting to you all. Okay, I can't have that word. Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, please do not put that in the chat. Okay, I don't want my channel being shadow banned. But we're not talking about this on this channel. Anyway, so thank you all for turning up. It's been a pleasure again. So we'll be back same time next week. I will be putting some videos out during the week, so so keep an eye out for that. And I will see you all later. So until then, bye for now.